Okay, you're all very welcome to this session in Better Build 2012, Sustainable Communities in Practice. We're going to be going up a scale. We're going to look at the notion of retrofitting communities. I'm going to give you a little bit of a preamble, and then we're going to get into two presentations from our guests. So we have Chris Bird over from the UK. Chris has worked as a freelance journalist for the last 20 years, writing about sustainable building for The Observer and self-building design. He's the author of Local Sustainable Homes, which is one of the Transition Towns books from Green Books in the UK. The Local Sustainable Homes concentrates on how individuals, groups and communities are managing their building projects. He helps run the building and housing group for Local Transition Town Totnes, where they promote using local materials such as timber, straw, hemp, earth, stone, wool to boost local economies and help create resilient communities and bring back a regional identity to buildings. Chris currently lives in a well-insulated home with solar thermal and PV panels in Totnes and has just spent the last 2 days in Clough-Jordan in Tipperary, where I live, the eco-village, which has 40, right now has 40 occupied eco-homes. You're very welcome, Chris. And sitting next to Chris, many of you will know her, Evan Cullinan. Evan, I could do this without the notes, I know. But I'll just do the notes to give you a good introduction as possible. Evan is the Executive Director of MCO Projects, specialising in sustainable design and 4D planning, which we'll all know what that is when she finishes her presentation. She's Director in Charge and Project Designer Director role on strategic, regeneration and innovative demonstration projects, including Creative Sligo Initiative, Father Collins Park, the Great Northern Haven, the Drimla IAP, SEI's Sustainable Energy Communities, Assisted Living Community Projects, the Digital Hub. Ivan's particular expertise in local area development and creative and cultural industries. Ivan is currently the chair of the Irish Film Institute and a director of Air Arc Ireland and the Dark Light Digital Festival. I first came across Ivan when we started our Convergence Festival 12 years ago, when she was involved in the regeneration of Temple Bar. I'm working with Temple Bar Cultural Trust now, but Temple Bar Properties at the time. My name's Davie Philip. As I said, I'm from Clough-Jordan. I'm an education director with Cultivate, and my program that I coordinate is around resilient communities. You can see from the slide here, I'm also involved in Transition Towns Ireland and Northern Ireland. Just a little straw poll, how many people know what Transition Towns is? So there's quite a few people that don't know what Transition Towns is. Just briefly, Chris might bring back in. Transition Towns was an initiative born in Ireland, which has gone global now. There's well over 2,000 communities around the world using the process developed by Rob Hopkins in Totnes to look at how communities move away from a dependency on fossil fuels and how we move away from the impacts of the price of oil and things like climate change and a contracting economy towards resilient communities. I'm going to touch on what resilient communities are, but that's what transition is. In Ireland, we have a network of about 1,000 people and probably about 35 communities that are embarked on how they build the sustainability of their community and make it a vibrant and creative place to live. So I'm interested in community resilience. Our session really here today is exploring the opportunities around energy, construction, and economic revitalization of communities. I use the term resilience. I've been working for 15 years in the sustainable development sector. Really a word, sustainability, that doesn't really resonate too much with people. And for the last 5 years, there's been a move within the sustainability sector looking and exploring what resilience might mean for communities. The word resilience, I think, can help us think about how we adapt and thrive in an uncertain world. Resilience. What do we mean by resilience? Well, we all know that when we're resilient as an individual, if we get sick or we get bad news, the quicker we bounce back, the more resilient we are. The measure of resilience is our bounce back ability. The research has been looking at communities and very similar approach, really. How does a community cope? How does it consider how it copes with the challenges facing us? And the resilience of a community then is characterized by the existence of the development and engagement of community resources to thrive in a dynamic environment categorized by change, uncertainty, unpredictability, and surprise. We now live in a world that is or could be described as full of change, uncertainty, unpredictability, and surprise. And therefore, we need to get ready for anything. We need to be resilient as individuals and resilient as communities. However, the bounce back ability for a resilient community isn't really applicable. We don't really want to bounce back to the state we were in or the systems we were in. We wanted to see the opportunity of the challenges we face now to break through to a new way of doing things that is much more sustainable, healthy, and therefore resilient. So really, how do we value our community's assets and the strengths of the community? How do we bring together, say, the creative industries with the green industries, the food and agriculture? And that's something that we're really thinking about and trying to model in Clough-Jordan. Just another little straw poll. How many people haven't heard of the Clough-Jordan Eco-Village? Haven't? Not one. Great. Chris was a bit worried because he was talking to people and they're all, you've been in Clough-Jordan? Don't know where that is. Don't know what that is. I'm involved in the Eco-Village there, which is trying to be a model of sustainable community. Our strapline is building sustainable community. When most people arrive at Clough-Jordan, they see it through the lens of a building site. And of course, that's what it is. We're building 130 high-performance homes in a rural Irish village that's been very much in decline in a CLAR-designated region. So it's had a lot of immigration and people moving out. In the last 4 years, 50 families have located from cities around Ireland and obviously a few from the UK. And you can hear from my accent that I'm actually Scottish, although living here 18 years. So people have moved from mostly urban centres back to rural Ireland to play a part in what we're doing with the Eco-Village in Clough-Jordan. When we started in 1999 in Dublin in a Central Hotel, founded a cooperative company that people join that want to eventually live there. Our objective was to serve as a model for sustainable living into the 21st century and act as an education and enterprise, a research and a service resource for all. So we're not building an eco-housing scheme. We're building a model of sustainability that we will be a destination. We're already a destination, 300 visitors a month now from universities, colleges coming to see what we're doing, whether they're into architecture or renewable energy or community design. So we want to be a destination for people to come and learn to go back to their own neighbourhoods, their own communities with some of the systems, some of the technologies, some of the methodologies we're using there in Clough-Jordan. This is a picture of what it looks like right now. We have 40 houses occupied, about 50 buildings almost up. They're all high Bs and A in the BR ratings. This is taken from one, you can see they're all quite high. This is taken from the other side of the Market Square, which are 5-storey buildings. We have a 32-bed hostel. We've just opened our new bakery, a wood-fired bakery with the blazing salads. There's 16 live-work units. We have our own energy centre. None of those houses have a heating system. They're connected to a district renewable heating system, the largest renewable energy district heating system in Ireland, which has 2 wood chip boilers and the largest solar thermal array in Ireland, which I have a little picture of. What we are really doing is modelling how we build our sustainability, how we adapt to the changes that we need to do, and how we can be an economically resilient local economy. How do we do that? These are questions that we're grappling with, and hopefully a place to prototype and experiment, and a really good place to come and learn about these things. So, that's just a preamble to set the scene for our next 2 speakers. We're all going to end with questions, and we're going to get through a lot quicker these upfront formal presentations so we can get into conversation and dialogue with everyone.